pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schulte.
Here.
Mr. DeBoer. Here. Second. Any additions or subtractions to today's agenda?
We just have to approve ambulance meeting room updates from the agenda.
Do what?
Remove it, the approve ambulance meeting room updates, the second agenda item. She wants that removed. She won't be here today.
Make that motion to approve.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve the December 3rd, 2024 minutes.
They haven't changed from what you emailed out, have they?
Mm-mm.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appoint designated certified register for Medicare ground ambulance.
Okay, so what that is Sandy does this GMT grant every year for monies and is being audited. So they need somebody to be appointed to be the certified registrar that knows what's going on. So it's probably would appoint me for that since she got most of the records from my office.
Make a motion to appoint you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 2024 weed commissioner report.
Can you get her done in that time?
What's that?
Can you get her done in that time?
I bet I can. Okay, so look at the front page, like the weeds that we have, nothing has really changed since last year. No new noxious weeds really found in our county. Our big ones, again, that we deal with are the Canada thistle. Any other weeds that are a problem or a concern in our county, we got a bunch of that wild parsnip stuff out there, pretty nasty stuff. This past year, our county spent $15,743.85 on chemical. The breakdown on that is $13,908.45 in the engineer's office, and 1,000. I think that's a 9, it's my handwriting, $1,945 or $845.40 for the conservation board on chemical. We will have ended up spending a little more than that. I did, through the conservation board this year, hire some drones to go out and spray, but we did not have those numbers.
Oh, they were.
I think okay. I hope they did it. I talked to 2 or 3 different people about getting these thistles sprayed with drones, and no one ever confirmed that they did it, but they said, oh yeah, we'll do that for you. Okay, that'd be great. So I contacted CFE like 2 or 3 times, and then I was actually I contacted another gentleman. His name is not coming to me right now, but he said he can make more money spraying stuff in Texas. So yeah, he wasn't coming back. He was going to stay in Texas and spray cotton fields and whatnot. 2 written notices, and then 2 just phone calls. I think there's actually a couple more than that now that I got thinking about it. And then last page, the chemicals that we sprayed: Remedy, Grazon Next, Duracor. Any questions? Got 30 minutes left. Or 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left.
The drone spraying does work good. I've had it done in my pasture or something.
If we didn't.
Yeah, it was one of the topics actually at this year's pesticide refresher that we do, is they talk more about drone spraying and how it works, and so.
Any other questions? I take a motion to approve the weed commissioner's report.
I'll make that motion.
Support. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Yeah. You wanna sign that one?
Motion
I have one for him to sign.
Oh, you have one for to sign.
carries.
Probably, well, this one is,
Got the tape on it.
do you need this back right now?
Department heads.
I'm already in the hot seat.
You're already there, so let's start there.
I'm just gonna sit here for a while this morning. I don't know if you guys looked at your agenda. So we are done winterizing equipment. I got most of that stuff put away. We're working on annual reports. Obviously, we just took care of one. My conservation board gets to hear me rattle on about the one that I did for them, and then you guys get to hear about that after the first of the year. Other than that, we did stock trout in Willow Creek last month, and the traffic out there has been ridiculous. Like, there was people out there, I wouldn't have walked on the ice, but they did, so.
I saw,
But we've had quite a number of tags turned in already. So getting ready for Trout Fest, and other than that, working on the cabin. We've got, I would say, 2/3 of the insulation for the cabin is done. We have all the sidewall insulation in, and probably 2/3 of the ceiling in. That has been an itchy process. We have put, we also have some trees going in at the campground too, before the ground froze. So we got the trees from the courthouse, and then some additional trees from
well, thank you. I guess we'll start with Becky and we'll just work our way around.
All right, we are still collecting some taxes from the first half. We are less than 1% left, which is good. December is a big renewal month for our company, so we're still busy with that. Also, our fees are going up for our title, so our fees were $25 for each title that we did. The county kept $2.50 of that. They are going up $10, and the county will get the $2.50 plus the $10. So, that'll be a big revenue change for us. But that'll go effective the first of the year.
I don't have much other than the jail's been extremely busy this past month, and we've been busy doing some investigations, but other than that, that's about it.
Flooding update, we're working on finalizing some of the paperwork for FEMA for the reimbursements for the work we've done this season. We'll have more reimbursements next year as the ground leaf falls back out. We did have our site bridge inspection with FEMA, so they came out. That was the mitigation group that's going to help authorize different payments for that. And we did get the consultant under task order to start on that design. In the May City project that we were doing, where we regrade all the ditches and we put in flap gates to try to reduce any backwater, those flap gates are done, so that project is now done in May City. The paving project, all the asphalt paving is complete. They're still working on doing the additional safety improvements of the rumble strips along the edge lines and center lines and final striping. Equipment-wise, we expect our wheeled excavator to be delivered this month, which probably means next month when you start talking with the vendors. Other than that, we're in snow mode now, all equipment being installed and gearing up for snow season.
Some of us recorders met with Senator Lynn Evans about the demodernization, and he's all in favor of that. And he's not the first step that we had to talk to, but he's going to encourage the legislatures to push it through, whatever. But the State Recorders Association feels like we need to meet with the House of Representatives yet, so we'll be doing that in December and January. And all the orders and snowmobile renewals are due December 31st. And after the first year, then there's a $5 late fee for each one of those. So it's good to get that done before the end of the year. And then votes will be, renewals will be due in April of 2025, and anytime after the first of the year, you can renew your votes, so. And postcards will be going out for that too, as a reminder, because it's just every 3 years, so.
So I got approval from my Economic Development Board to budget for a housing feasibility study for the county. So I'm gonna look at doing that here next year. I'm gonna start reaching out to firms to get quotes to see what it'll cost. But this will give us the data we need for any type of talking to developers or possibly trying to put in for grant funding for any housing. I'm still working on childcare expansion in the county, whether it be bringing in a new childcare facility or expanding Bright Beginnings. And the Community Foundation grant application window closes Friday at 4 p.m. So make sure you tell your friends if they haven't gotten their stuff in yet. That's all I have.
We got all the general election stuff has all been posted and finalized. We're all good with that. Passports, we're doing a lot of passports. I wish I was one of them going on a trip somewhere, but I'm not, so happy for them. Chantry is working on valuation reports, and I handed out budget sheets yesterday. Yay! So I'll start working on that. So that's all I got.
Alright, who had treats today?
No one.
Oh, well, help yourself to snacks down at the end.
Those contribute to why I wouldn't have walked on that ice.
So,
That stuff contributes to why I
Not
wouldn't.
the chocolate.
Really?
there's a section that's open over there. Where it used to be the memory care.
Probably do that. I think we probably got time to approve the weed commissioner certification before the 9 o'clock.
That just certifies that I will be the weed, or the county will have a weed commissioner for 2025,
Do you want to do it?
I suppose.
I'll make a motion.
I'll support it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I got it.
Mine doesn't have the fancy green seal.
I see.
I just did
He
it so
kept the
that,
color copy.
Yeah.
so that I remember to tell him to sign it about these dates.
We got time for one more. Approved to reappoint Zach Marco to the Osceola County Conservation Board. He wanted to be reappointed.
He said he would serve another term. I talked to him last week. He was a little surprised that his 5-year term had expired already. He's been having so much fun, he said.
I'll make that motion to reappoint Zach Markle.
I'll support it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Right?
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Look, Rob, Stephen, he's like, yeah, we have so much fun.
It's 9 o'clock. We'll open up the public hearing for the exchange of real estate between Osceola County, acting through the Osceola County Conservation Board and the Osceola County Sportsman's Club. Question, any comments?
The only comment that I'm gonna make, I guess, this is something that was, the concern was raised by our county's insurance representative, about the additional liability that the county would have owning property where like a shooting range is operating on. In this scenario, it's really no different than what we have done with the county's other 2 shooting ranges. The land is actually on those shooting ranges is also owned by the Osceola County Sportsman's Club. So we thought we had it all worked out good enough when we leased, when we signed a farm lease with the Sportsman's Club, but this kind of changed everything. So we have worked in negotiations with the Sportsman's Club, who are represented here, Mr. Ackerman and Mr. Larson, to trade a piece of property that they have down in, I guess it's Galway Township. So it's the taxable valuations on these properties are reasonably similar, or the county gets more acres than what we're giving away. But the land use on either of these properties really is not going to change much. So we worked with them. The Conservation Board, I shared with you guys the resolution that the Conservation Board passed in support of this land trade.
So how many acres is each parcel?
The parcel that we would be trading away is like 17.8, something like that. And the parcels we are, what's that?
18.38.
18.38. And then the parcel we are getting, what's it, 32?
32.
Yeah. In that ballpark. The parcel that we're getting is currently managed as a wildlife management area.
Is there hunting or anything allowed on there?
Yes. Yep. And as long as the press doesn't put this in the paper, it's a good spot.
Yes, it is a good spot.
Let you guys keep
I had a really, really good time out there one day.
What'd you get?
What?
So what did you get?
I think between, my friend was back from Oregon, one of my high school friends, we shot 5 pheasants in a period of about 45 minutes. And then we decided that was enough for the day, so.
You were tired?
What?
You were tired?
I think the dog was tired.
Is there any written comments, Rochelle, from anything?
I have not received any oral or written comments regarding this matter.
There's no other comments. I will close the public hearing.
I'd make a motion to approve it.
I'll support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Right?
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Nick.
So I guess there's one thing that we do have to talk about. When do you want the closing to be? That was in the contract.
Right. We gonna talk about it all?
Whatever it works for everybody, it works for us.
Thursday at 2.
Okay.
Whatever works.
I believe according to our deed, this has to be recorded.
First.
So, I don't know how long that process takes.
You know somebody over there, maybe they can speak in there.
Well, as long as we have the
She
signatures.
took my spot, she owes me now.
Well, the contract's ready to go, we just need Ed and Nick's signature and Dean's signature, so we could, as long as we put that in here, we could get it all signed and notarized today and get it recorded today. But That's up to you. Are you comfortable signing it? Are you guys too?
Yeah.
Well, we just have to add Thursday at 2 then on this.
Or you do it Friday at 2 too, if that works better for you. It doesn't matter.
Anytime work for you, Dean? Anytime should work?
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime, Thursday.
As long as it's in the afternoon. As long as it's in the afternoon.
I don't care when. We're not that busy. Sooner we get it done.
Yep.
So at 2 p.m. then, I can put in this
Sure.
contract?
Thursday at 2.
Thanks for everybody.
Such hard decisions.
Thursday is the 12th. Okay. Well, Dean has to be done in front of a notary.
You got your
So
notary.
I don't, but I can go get it.
Give her a hard time. These are all out of order.
Yeah, all right.
This is more business than okay. Sure, spread it out a little more.
What? I like to get just one bell swoop.
Yeah, I'll drop this off at the SC office.
You and I have been having that discussion. My papers are all out of order.
I try so hard. What's on here?
I just blame Chantry or Chrissy.
What?
Maybe it was Chantry or Chrissy.
It had to be Chantry. I'm not gonna give Chris a look at. She helps me look at my iPad.
Yeah.
I'll stop and see you before I leave.
Could be.
Tell me I'm
About time for some more ink in there, isn't it?
Yep. Mine expires this year. Okay, Dean.
done.
I didn't shut it off.
Done deal.
Because I got a new phone on Black Friday. And I've had a heck of a time on that.
Relearn
Are
it.
you too old?
But they changed my number on me.
You got another paper?
I got the paper to go to the other one.
What did you say?
That's a good deal.
Well,
take
I
that
thought I
number?
was. Yeah, you
You
got
want to bring it over?
trips to work and I
Yeah.
found that
Record
straight.
it, and then I can put that on the deed
I haven't
and
been working
sign
for
it,
that
and
much in years.
should be good to go then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Approve resolution 15, 2024-25, support right turn lane on Highway 60 at 230th Street and Ashton.
follow-up resolution to what was discussed at the last meeting where citizens of Ashton are wanting to petition the state highway department to put in a right turn lane southbound in Ashton. This would be a resolution of support that they could turn in that petition to the state from the county.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 15/2025.
I'll support that.
Mr. Elmers?
Aye.
Mr. Schulte?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Vandal?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a 15?
Joe?
Discuss overpayment by exempted acres in the drainage districts. Just a follow-up from the last meeting. Sharon did have numbers for those acres that were taxed that were exempt. I think she came up to about $35,000 is what would need to go back.
Has this happened before?
Because those acres didn't used to be exempted, and then the state exempt.
The state exempted them? I thought we took action to exempt
State
them.
made it possible to exempt, they exempted the acres, yeah.
My opinion is that the change occurred and going forward is when that is affected, and I don't think there was provision and we didn't budget for paying back for previous years, so I think it should be considered at budget time if we are gonna consider it further. But to me, the action occurred and it's going forward, which you exempted.
It was exempted, the county didn't have to approve to exempt the acres, the state exempted the acres. And they should have been exempted when it was brought to the attention to exempt them.
How long has that been?
5 years.
5 years?
Considering all the extra costs and everything that everybody has been tagged with all these repairs, I think the least we could do is give them back what they were supposed to be taxed on.
How many acres did that include, do you know?
No, Sharon had the number.
I shouldn't.
You said it was about 35,000?
That's what Sharon came up with.
Go ahead, Jason.
I shouldn't make assumptions, but do you have acres that are affected by this and that would be getting
Yeah,
a refund?
Yep.
Then is it proper for you to have brought the issue up
It is
and
because as
speak
a.
towards it
It is
as a
because
conflict of interest?
As a drainage trustee, I also had the ability to be my own trustee in those drainage districts as well, if the board didn't do it. So either way, I would have the ability to bring it up.
I believe it would be a violation of our conflict of interest policy.
I don't think it would, Jason. If you're in a drainage district and you can be your own trustee, if the board doesn't do it as the default person, I don't know how that would be a conflict.
Because there's a process to determine landowners as the drainage district trustees, not just.
But it can be
choosing,
anybody
picking and
that's in the
choosing.
district. Either way, I don't think it's a conflict of interest, but I think everybody should be reimbursed for that. Because those acres were exempt and they weren't supposed to be taxed on them to begin with. And we've already, 3 weeks prior, Becky came in with somebody that had exempted acres that were taxed, that we already voted to give that money back. So I don't know that it's an issue.
Where's that money come from then?
Well, will come from, the county, the cities and schools, area schools.
Okay, well,
Yes, it's just everybody will have to, I don't know how this process will all work, but everybody will have to, from their allocation, will have to pay towards that. Probably not the cities, because it's not in a city district, but townships, area schools.
Jason, you're saying we should wait till we can budget for it? Is that what your
If we
comment
think
was?
we should refund everyone, I think it should be something that's budgeted for and considered during the budget process rather than after the fact. And if that's what Becky brought to us, I didn't recall that, then I mistakenly approved something I shouldn't have. I should have given it more thought if that was the same scenario.
What was it we approved for Becky?
Acres for somebody that had exempt property because they were a nonprofit or something that got taxed. So she came in to refund that money back. We approved to give it back.
But that didn't tie to a state change from 5 years ago.
So you want to adjust the budget time?
I would think so.
I think so too.
I'll come back up here as a private citizen and pitch for that budget time. All right, consider approved memorandum of understanding with Yes Center for Juvenile Detention Services.
Okay, we got the MOU yesterday. I have reached out to Central Iowa Juvenile Detention. I have not heard back from him yet. But you know, the letter that he did send out, they charge $250 per day. And then they charge $59 an hour, which is encompassing costs such as hourly, mileage, meals, insurance, liability, miss, and cost. I had Erin Elser from the Iowa courts come to my office, and she just said if we do go in contract with Central Iowa, that we need to ask them what their top end is. Because their top end, if they have a juvenile that's needs one-on-one, they could charge anywhere from $450 to $600 a day. So she said you just need to be aware of that. But like I said, I have not heard back from Tony at all. I emailed him last week Wednesday after the board meeting and have not heard anything. So, but the Yes Center did send, their day rate is a little bit cheaper. Their mileage rate, of course, is cheaper, but for their transportation fee is $27 per hour. But we have to pay mileage on that. And the Decorah, it's $59 an hour, but that includes hourly, mileage, meals, you know, all of that, so.
Who makes the determination as to whether it's a difficult kid?
I think they do.
If they deem them to be difficult, then you pay.
We could, that's what I was told by the Erin Elser. She just told me when we reach out, or when Tony ever sends something back, we just need to ask what their top end is. And I did address that in that email, but like I said, I have not heard back from him, so. The center, Yes Center said it's $220 a day, regardless, so.
Was that a yearly contract that we had with Central Iowa?
We had a 28E agreement since 2019 with them, so we hadn't updated it since then. And I think in this MOU, it also states that they have to give us a written notice with 30 days. She did say that the Yes Center is filling up quite fast from people on the eastern end of the county, or the state, because of Central Iowa, you know, doing this. She said that we cannot be a voting member. They do not have a bed available for us to purchase at $25,000. But she said for our county, kind of like what Kevin said, it wouldn't be very feasible for our county to purchase a bed for $25,000. But Cheryl was very helpful and willing to work with us, and she said since I contacted them, that they would work with us, and that would, you know, guarantee. So I'm glad I called when I did, because they're filling up.
Then we gotta pay to ship them back over to the Yes Center.
I don't know. I suppose I'm only aware of this one juvenile in Central Iowa detention, and I don't know if he's going to trial soon or not. I heard it was in December, but I don't know if that's happening or if that's postponed or.
So then we start the new rate in January.
I believe so. Yeah.
The court or whatever the process would have to authorize the transfer, wouldn't it?
Probably on this one because it's a district court, so they would have to. It's a district matter. Yeah, these rates at 225 start January 1st for the Yes Center.
Has this been reviewed by the county attorney?
Yes, yep, I gave it to him and he said he didn't have anything, said it looked good.
Well, the Yes Center kind of sounded like a good deal to me.
That's closer,
Yep.
but. Because I mean, when we first started with Central Iowa, I mean, we were getting charged $100. Well, now that's changed to $250. So, which I mean, I get things have gone up. I understand, but
Well, change to whatever they want, because they won't honor a contract or we don't have a contract, so there's really
Yeah.
nothing that we can rely on.
I can try to reach out to Tony again, but
Yeah, no, I guess we kind of have to wait for them. If they want the business, they're gonna need to provide some sort of contract.
something. She said Black Hawk County is, I think, going to the Yes Center, and
I'll make a motion for approval of the memorandum of understanding with the Yes Center.
Support that.
Mr. Vanderhoef,
Aye.
Mr. Schulte,
Aye.
Mr. Vore,
Aye.
Mr. Elmers.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there anywhere in here where it talks, I don't see anything in this memorandum of understanding that talks about that difficult.
no, they don't have it in there. I think when I talked to her, she said that they would regardless they're difficult or not, it was still the $225 a day. She just said to make sure I asked the Central Iowa Juvenile. That's what they're more concerned about was that. What their top end was, and that Aaron Elser too told me the same thing, to make sure I asked the top end of that would be, but until they call me back, there's not much I can do.
Approve the 2025 holiday schedule.
Just like it was before, isn't it?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is this still the same as the unions now? We added that day in last time,
I don't remember what the unions are, to be honest with you.
so we gave them an extra day to match up. I don't remember if they're both the same or not.
You can let me know when it's my turn, right?
Yep, I usually do.
Just double checking.
I know. I hear ya.
Approve ambulance radio quote from Alpha Wireless.
It's easy. That's me.
So, this year I'm applying for some pager radios through the Community Foundation grant. And, I need your blessings to be able to apply for that. The total cost is $5,200. I am, applying for the grant for 5. And so hopefully 250 of it will come out of my budget. So that's where we're paying at.
I'll abstain on this issue as assigned to the community foundation and voting member. I'll stay out of it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All those abstaining,
Abstain.
motion carries.
So then we'll approve the resolution, then 17. That's, we have to approve resolution 17, because she needs that resolution for the Community Foundation grant.
I'll make that motion to approve resolution 17.
Support.
Mr. Helmers.
Aye.
Mr. Schulte.
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer.
Aye.
Mr. Vando.
Abstain.
Motion carries. So we pass a resolution to authorize, they can't just submit it.
Well, I guess they need a resolution. That's what I was told, so.
Consider hiring outside legal counsel to handle open records requests.
I would make a motion we do that.
I still haven't heard anything back from new. Who are we hiring?
Whoever comes out. I don't think we need a name.
Okay.
I'd make that, I'd approve that. Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We got about
Now, we might get one time for me to get out of here.
Sandy, do you think it should be on the agenda, Sandy, to talk about the eastern side of the county's problems?
Sure.
We don't have to do it now, but maybe for next,
Sure.
it's up to you guys if you want to talk about it.
We should.
Yeah,
You know,
I would like that.
I think Melvin May City is done,
Very much so.
and I've heard Ocheeta too.
It's getting pretty slim pickings.
Pardon?
Say it's getting pretty slim pickings over on the eastern side for services.
Yeah. It's gonna come down to what we're gonna do, hire full-time people. It's about what it's gonna come down to.
Yeah, or if we could get like Sanborn or Hartley to pick up Spirit Lake, I don't know.
From she left. I think Sandy told me that she's talked to Hartley. They don't wanna have a 2080 agreement, but if we need help, they'll come and help us.
And I don't know what Sanborn's got for, nothing in the ambulance?
Because Hartley's covering them right now, between Hartley and Sheldon.
Not a good situation.
No, it's not.
Talked about it at Fireman's last night, trying to drum somebody up.
It's hard, everybody's busy.
We even talked about requiring some of the, I don't know if you can require them, but some of the fire department members.
If they could just be the first responder to get things situated till the ambulance gets there.
Just, I think you still gonna have to take the class.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's a big problem. A lot bigger than what we realize. I'm meeting with the hospital Thursday afternoon, I think it is, to discuss this.
Spirit Lake has got the hospital taking care of that.
Yeah. What I'd like to see is
I
some,
think you were right with the future agenda item, Jerry.
Yeah.
Discussing now.
It's 9:30. We have Elder Bridge Agency on their aging annual report.
That's me.
Okay. And I do have copies for all of you of our annual report. And then inside that is a handout that's specific to the funding in Osceola County. Kind of breaks it down for you all. I'll wait for the other two to get back. I have enough. Yeah, there's five. Hi. Sorry.
Good, yeah.
Okay, I'll just start. So my name is Stacia Timmer. I have the privilege of coming to see you guys probably every year for the last 5 years. I feel like I've been here. I'm the COO at Alderbridge Agency on Aging. We are an area agency on aging, which means we focus on empowering and enabling older adults, which the state definition of an older adult is anyone 60 and over. I tell people the older I get, I feel like 60, that seems really young to be termed an older adult, but that's what it is. Thank you. So we specialize in older adults, those with disabilities, 18 to 59, and then caregivers. So with that, we provide both direct and indirect services to individuals of that age group and that population. We cover 29 counties. So Osceola is one of the 29 boards of supervisors we are visiting. We do visit every board of supervisor in our 29 county area. And I'm happy to say that 28 of the 29 do fund us. So it's pretty good. We're working on that 29th, and I have a really good feeling we're gonna get them this year. So with that, I should mention we have 4 office locations. So Spencer is one of them. Fort Dodge, Carroll, and Mason City. So with those 4 locations, we have staff in each of those offices, and we're able to service those counties surrounding those office locations. We rely heavily on federal and state funding. The federal funding, as you can see in your annual report, is the Older Americans Act funding. We also rely heavily on state funds. We rely on grant funding. We are very fortunate to have a grant writer on staff. I think to date this year, we have received about $88,000 in grants, and those are just specific to meals. We have other grants that focus on other programs for Alderbridge, but the meals are kind of a big deal. The meals are a very tangible, visible, popular program. So with that, we do congregate meals, we do home delivered meals. You can see in this Osceola County specific handout, the number of meals that we provide here in Osceola is significant. Currently right now, we are doing congregate and home delivered here in Sibley 3 days a week, and then 2 days a week in Ocheyedan. By federal and state mandate, we are required to do 5 days optional within each county. So Ocheyedan's in Osceola, we by definition are making meals available 5 days a week. We want to go back to 5 here in Sibley. We are just dealing with some staffing issues, but I've been told that we have an interview, we have a new gal that has started, so I foresee us going back to 5 days rather quickly, which is the goal. I do want to mention our direct services. Meals are one of them. Underneath here, we kind of spell out which direct services are provided by Alderbridge and which we contract or indirect. Here in Osceola, we contract with the Osceola Community Health to provide homemaker services and personal care. So all of our services are provided in-home. That is our goal, is we keep people where they want to be as long as they can. So that means we do a number of wraparound services, homemaker, personal care, chore services, transportation. We do contract with the Osceola Community Express here in Sibley to provide transportation for individuals. We do a lot of medical transportation. For transportation needs outside of the areas where these buses and vehicles provide, we rely heavily on volunteers. We're very fortunate to have really good volunteers that will take people to Sioux Falls, will take people to Mayo, because obviously it's quite costly to provide transportation to those long distance locations. So we are creative in ensuring that services get out there. This year, I can't say that we've had actual direct cuts to our funding, but what I can say is the need and demand has increased and the funding has remained stagnant. The state and feds have provided us funding, but it's not enough to meet the higher demand of services and needs. We have a lot of baby boomers entering this realm of requiring services. I hate to keep talking about it, but COVID did bring out a lot of extra funding, but with that funding, it brought out people that required our services and still do. With that funding being depleted, we're seeing that people, their needs aren't going away just because that funding did. We were just able to do a little bit better outreach and provision of services with increased funding. So with that, we rely heavily on county funding to help us meet our federal match. With the Older Americans Act is federal funding, we are required to do a 25% match. So some of the county funding that we do receive allows us to pull down all of the federal funds that we can. Without that match, we would not be able to pull down as much as we'd like to. So it's imperative. And of course, it's also imperative to consistently bringing services to your county. Just to highlight how we request and kind of how we come about with the numbers that we do for requesting funds from each county, we look at the state of Iowa census data. We look at individuals 60 and over in each county. Right now here in Osceola, your percent of total population age 60 and over is about 31.5%. So it's pretty high for a smaller county. With that, we request $3.20 per 60 and over individual. Last fiscal year, we received $5,208 from Osceola County. This year, we're asking for about $1,000 more. We've increased that a nickel. It was $315 last year. This year, it's $320. So our request for FY26 is $6,202. I do like to point out that for every dollar of county funds here in Osceola, we are providing $25.29 worth of service. I think the total cost of services within Osceola was $131,670, which is a pretty good return on investment if you look at it that way. I kind of give a lot of information quickly. I know you guys' time is valuable. Do you have any questions, comments?
Should have asked to get the numbers previously. My recollection is that 25.29 that you identify for every dollar of county funds, that was a higher number in prior years.
It might have been, because we
Is
probably...
that something that you're seeing decline in each county, or is there
bit.
something unique to ours? Or?
No, it is not. It's not necessarily unique. We just don't have the funds, again, to provide all the services that are required in our demand.
Stacy, why don't you explain to them about the funding in the state of Iowa? It hasn't increased in the last 10 years?
No, we have not seen an increase from the state of Iowa for at least 10 years. We've seen a rise in population of 60 and over. We've seen a rise in the demand of service. The food insecurity, the cost of just general needs of individuals has gone up. Social Security hasn't gone up. But the state of Iowa has not increased their funding to the aging population for a very long time. Thanks, Lynn.
And talk about what unique thing that the algorithms are going to do now with the legislation with the paper plates.
Yeah, so my CEO and myself are going to the Capitol in March to talk with legislators. This is something that we do as often as we can. And to make a kind of a visual effect, we are dispensing paper plates to every one of our meal sites. In fact, just in Spencer, I think I received about 55 plates back just this week. Where we want them to write on that plate how it is that these meals impact them, how it keeps them in their home, how imperative it is to them to receive those meals. And we are going to bring that stack to the Capitol with us. We've done this before. Instead of talking, it's something that people walk away remembering. Like if I see a stack of 5,000 plates and every one of them is written on by an individual that receives a meal, wow, that's really impacting an Iowan. That could be my relative, could be my grandpa, could be my aunt, my uncle, my neighbor. And reading through some of those plates, it's pretty amazing how a simple meal, especially home delivered meals for those that are homebound, has a huge impact on their life. They become friends with the people that are delivering that meal. We'll have people that call us and say, you know what, Betty didn't answer her door today. I don't know what's going on. She's usually right there waiting for me with that meal. They are an eye and an ear to individuals that may not have anybody checking in on them. And the congregate sites are just as important. We want people to come. We want them to congregate, socialize, eat, stay, and do other things at these senior centers and other locations. So we're trying to pull people back out to those congregate meals. It's a little bit of a struggle. We do see a lot more home delivered than we do congregate, but again, we're trying to change that. So yeah, we make sure we're loud and clear to our legislators how important this funding is and the need that's out there. Larry is one of our board members, so we are very appreciative of him.
What percentage is Sibley and Muskegon and what you figure, and what about rural?
So this is total population, both rural and town population.
Have you ever broken it down?
I guess I haven't. No.
And then to see rural.
Well, and by definition, all 29 of our counties are defined as rural. Like the biggest town that we have is Mason City. And I don't know that they even meet the definition of urban, but that's a really good point. You know, we do have a little bit more of a barrier in getting meals out to people that live in the country per se than in town. Not to say it's impossible. We have frozen meals. We work with Sisters Meals out of Humboldt. Those are a way for individuals that live outside of our kind of delivery area to get meals. We do sometimes find volunteers that will go out and deliver. I have some in Spencer and other surrounding areas that go out to these smaller towns where there isn't a meal site per se.
And deliver to the rural people.
Yeah.
You have to tell them in Des Moines that we have a constitution, it's we the people. So it's people, all of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. No, it's not just Des Moines. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? We appreciate your support.
The plate deal is really a neat idea.
It is a good idea, isn't it? Yeah. I didn't think people would actually return them when I gave them there. I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna see these again. But the next day, those people that got the home delivered meal, we put a very good, clear note in it, like what we're doing with these, how it's going to be impactful. And it's pretty awesome to see what they all wrote, and it'll be fun to take them down there.
I'd like to see the people in Des Moines look at that.
I know. I'll take photos, maybe I'll take video. Yeah. Thank you.
Just those, you look coming. Sure. Yeah.
Is there anything pressing? I'm gonna leave you in a couple minutes.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, Ryan.
Keith, are these flood repairs that are in here, are these all FEMA?
At least 80% of them.
Thanks for breaking that out for me, too, appreciate it.
The reimbursement to Midwest Group Benefits.
How much? That's our,
Claim 1020. Sorry, we just switched the HSA, but the HRA is still managed by the municipal. So, and
yeah, I think that's our claim.
Yeah.
All we had. To pay.
So there's a claim in here for Bosma Water. I'll make a motion to pay that.
Number 965.
Yep.
Support it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All those abstaining,
Abstain.
motion carries. Want to make a motion on the rest of the claims?
I'd make a motion on the rest of the claims too. And I have to leave.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We just shortened up the time limits on some of these.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I should have a couple minutes to spare, I think.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
John Hanson calling in or?
He's coming. That's what he told me.
I think we ought to support elevators because I'm getting better age, I might need them.
Are you over 60?
I think yesterday I was. Me too.
Let me sign some of the stuff.
Sure. I'll just sign that warranty deed. I just gotta get a second page.
You'll have to come in on Thursday then to get it on too.
I won't roll this up and take it with me.
Is that what happened the last time? Okay.
And we were talking, and I looked down at my papers and I said, I think this has gotta stay here.
When's your son done with college? Next week already?
This shirt Shirley sent. I was at a wedding question. And this lady comes up to me and she says, you're from Minnesota County. I go, yeah, but I don't know you. Yes, you do. That's who it was. I said, geez, it's a small world. No, it wasn't. You.
I mean, yes, very exciting. Yeah.
I get that.
We talk about the appliances though, because
Too old for that.
old enough for it. It's like, we're not gonna try to pay
Faces.
it.
I can remember the faces, but I can't remember.
They're gonna wanna get rid of them anyway, so we thought. And yeah, we said stuff in there that had to go to probate, so I don't know when we can do that. It had to be at least 60 days after his death, so that'd be December 21st, so. Yeah, we haven't gotten to do that yet. We didn't. Yeah, and yeah, travel, driving was great. Cause down there that Monday was like 80 degrees.
And I don't really know what's bad.
And then by Wednesday it was like 15.
Is that right?
You know,
But there's a few times I've been out.
when we're hauling.
That can be
you know,
nasty.
Hauling
Five times I've spent my Christmas.
Yeah. It was nice because there's, you only have to pay like $25 to eat, and you can put out.
Maybe that isn't the time.
It ain't worth it, no.
You can put out as much stuff. Yeah, you have, they have a form of marketing list of what you're putting out. I mean, we put out a fridge with
Holy moly.
bookcases,
We got just
I mean,
enough.
we did it twice because we had enough stuff, but we had already had
A couple of feet already.
it washed the dryer,
5 inches.
and yeah, it was fun stuff.
We got nothing, which I'm okay.
And they came we just had to get it to the curb and they came and picked it up.
I had to keep.
We got
I've
there
been
Sunday
struggling
afternoon,
with the concert.
and then we left Saturday afternoon. So we were there for the whole week.
Everything's new.
We didn't
So I
have
said to
time.
Keith.
The Vikings played in Nashville.
So he.
That's Sunday. We're like, oh, we can go to the game. But they don't wanna go to Nashville because of the games.
Which,
So we're like,
maybe you think that's a lot, but according to all
cause
the
yeah, the traffic
stuff
is
we
bad
do.
anytime. But when you add in another like 30,000 people coming for a football game, and we would've been going through there like at 11:30.
You know, remember when we
So,
didn't
yeah,
say
we
we
took
could
it
buy
different.
No, you don't wanna do that.
Yeah, it was scenic, but it was like really slow because it was a lot of curvy, roads, and the shoulders are like this wide, and then there's like a 4-foot drop. So yeah, you have to be very careful.
It's still.
But you know, pretty.
I can't put gas more
It
than
was
a decent
tall
amount.
enough, they stored
Very
the
easy.
so,
I know. I said to Nick the other day, I don't even bring it up, he says, you told me, and I didn't listen, and I was wrong, he said. So I put it there. But he ain't got to say it.
So, yeah, it's long haul, it's pretty
Yeah.
hilly.
Yeah, he's not in the mountains, yeah, I think he's just.
They always
straight
do.
south of Nashville.
They didn't.
He's kind of maybe flipping a little bit of it was, you know, the roll.
See, we had a diesel, 6.2 diesel like that, one time and blew it up. So I went to Melvin's.
And a lot
Said I wanna
of
put
rock,
gas
you know,
motor.
you can see where
You're
like.
better
that's-
off to find another diesel, and he said, because it'll cost you, you gotta, all the wiring, all the wiring harnesses, everything. He
All the
says.
modules.
That was one we've never seen that.
Oh,
We
yes.
didn't look at the app. But I
What's
think
that?
it's just one of those
Somebody a
little,
fun project,
you know,
said
teeny ones in the roof something, and he probably didn't
That's
know
right.
a whole lot of there, so.
Yeah.
His furnace is up there.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
good.
we got a little thing for upstairs bathroom, you know.
Okay.
Our own thing.
Yeah.
Not for me, no one.
Yeah, so we actually have steps to go up, and then a bigger door
Is
to go
anybody
up.
coming to get these reports, or do we just?
So that, but we still,
I'm not sure.
we don't really store it.
Yeah, we don't store anything, our own, maybe toss some mouse poison or.
Yeah, we had bats, so, we haven't for a while now.
Melvin's got a
We
new
did.
library,
Yeah.
she's pretty good.
We had a bunch of free money
Yeah.
handed out off of DCAT.
I'm done
Those
with
county
it.
library
And
submitted.
really bad, we didn't have a lot of that,
Mhm.
one random.
Yeah, that's, yeah,
15 years of thought.
yeah.
Maybe that, what is it called, what is it called?
DCAT, they do these mini grant things, and they email the libraries and say, hey.
And I was.
So they got the
Well, Harold and I were both.
Like I said, maybe I could pass it
That
on.
one, slammed the door from the kitchen to the.
Everybody just-
Everybody.
You're not coming. I think there's only one in O'Brien that did it, but then things like Clay, basically, they all put in.
Find it and kill the darn thing.
Yeah.
And we.
Something with O'Brien also,
I think my husband.
submitting stuff for free, it's just.
No.
And just beat the ever living crap out of it. And we had to left the
Yeah, they don't do it.
Because a neighbor just walked away, I had a
Oh, yeah.
and they have shots.
Because you don't know,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. So we sent in, material, it doesn't matter or not.
Yeah, I don't know if it shows up in the fur or
Oh,
not.
forget that.
Yeah, we try to catch and release, but there's a few times we've switched them and odds that they didn't make it.
Yeah.
We, you know,
Oh,
usually do.
and when my aunt and mother passed, suddenly, and then we came in helping her. And we were helping my cousins, clean up a beautiful three-story house.
Oh, yeah.
And upstairs, they didn't use it, but you could have, wooden floors and everything. Well, I'm coming up the third batch stairs to go up there, and I get up there. This is hanging there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really bad.
It was, I guess a little better, but still, it's like, but I suppose if they were never up there,
Yeah,
they never really probably noticed it either, so, yeah.
but it's like, oh, God. Like that, and I was like, oh, Dad, okay.
Because we did that every once in a while where we'd have them just, just sitting somewhere. And our dog too was like, it's no problem. And there was one like just hanging on like our speaker or something, and he's like, look, we're like, what? Is he around? Oh, okay. I can see why you're right now.
And then one time,
And then Roger,
upstairs,
he's done
since
in April.
everyone was on the first floor,
So
she went upstairs, I think the conference on the
So we had extra.
She looks in the way she
I agree.
Oh.
And Carthy's providing.
Well, he took care of
I know.
That was nice.
They have no one, I thought they had a big one at one time.
They got nobody running.
Well, I suppose mostly meal sites.
Yeah, that's weird that they would
They're throwing more money in.
Public health would,
Doesn't.
Christmas trees or.
We should have some bathrooms down there.
Delivered meals, you probably can get.
We thought we saw
But
it.
yes,
Yeah.
those other services.
Yeah.
And Hartley's.
I don't know that they really
Do they have very many?
reach out to people once they hit 60.
But I mean, I wonder how people.
the cemetery.
Yeah.
Old people there. I don't know if I could talk about
Outside, in the summer, and then.
and just staying and joining
That's
there.
it.
I'm
going in.
visit and something's changed. and they haven't probably be,
Yeah.
be able to assist them.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Or just if there's
Yeah,
ours
no.
off.
So he doesn't want to.
But she was going for that was good.
There are lots of different, as he told me, it's a quality of the bridge. So I don't know if
Maybe,
Yeah, we do see, I'm
But
not
like
outside,
Heather,
but
she's
I'm
not
not
physically
Not as
able to
necessary.
do it. And I don't know if she'll ever be able
I don't know if the bridge.
last time I seen her, she was walking like a little lady with a freaking cane. What's up, 2 years ago?
stay there and we're like, he's like.
Do you need more coffee, Leroy? Do you need more coffee?
That's good. Thank you.
Sure. My waitressing skills haven't left me yet. Well, way back in the day, like a long time ago. I can give you a donut, I can do that. Forgot to waitress.
No, I don't even, just leave it.
I know, but somebody might get hungry.
I don't want anything. My wife's been baking so young things. She's home now, so.
I did too, and I'm not making any more. Made 3 things and I'm done. Because no one wants to bring them home.
What about that grandson that wants a certain kind?
Well, they have to be here. They're coming. They have to be here to help me because they want to help me. I make M&M bars and they want to help, so they have to be there. So, and muffins. We have to make muffins, M&M bars and muffins. I should. I should.
What'd you take home
I should.
last night? Anything good? Oh. Oh.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to freeze some of them
Sure.
because there was a lot. I've eaten too many. I gotta freeze them because same for Christmas, and then I got an order of Christmas cookies coming too, so my grandkids should be happy.
I know, we bake this with them.
Yeah, I took a couple things. Lindsay, like I said, Lindsay's been baking so much.
Oh,
So
has she?
she said, we don't need any more cookies.
Yeah, they're out there. Go tell them to.
There's a big one normal. So it makes some stuff good. That's
Me to go first, or?
We can do them alphabetically.
Alphabetically? Mary Earl from the Sibley Public Library. I do, of course, have a handout for everybody, as usual, as per normal. We're all just gonna kind of tell you about one really fun thing that happened, this has been going on this past year within our libraries, instead of, lots of different details. We're just gonna do one shining moment. And I just want to tell you about our new program that we have at Sibley Public Library this year that's called #Sibley Reads. A year ago in October, I was able to attend the Iowa Library Association Conference in Dubuque. That's put on once a year by the Iowa Library Association. And I went to, one of the sessions that I went to was called #Spencer Reads. And they presented about how they're getting the whole community involved in promoting literacy. So we've been doing a community-wide literacy project, and as you can look through our, it's promoting reading for all ages, from babies through adults. May 1st was our big kickoff, which we had to drop everything and read at noon event, and the schools took part, everybody in the community, whoever was interested in dropping everything that they were doing and reading at noon, participated, and then they could go to our social media, either Instagram or Facebook, and add the #Sibley Reads, showing themselves reading. We also, on June 10th, did a good old summertime parade, promoting our #Sibley Reads with, of course, a Curious George theme. Why not? And that was a lot of fun, and shows the pictures there. And on July 21st, we participated in Ladies' Night at the Osceola County Fair, and did a fun scavenger hunt at the fair also. And then, of course, people could, once again, go to our social media and post their pictures just to promote reading. On September 16th, to start the school year out, we did a National Read a Book Day, and also combined it with Sibley Ocheyedan Homecoming. We did a community readers at the elementary school sponsorship, where we had all sorts of different people from the community go in and read to the kids. Had a lot of pictures posted, of course, on social media. And we also did a #Sibley Reads rock painting, where we hid rocks all downtown Sibley for the parade route, and then kids could pick them up, take their picture with it, and then take it home or put it somewhere else. I guess they've been found all different places now in downtown in Sibley, all over Sibley. And then in the fall, we had kind of a community book club, and that went over really well. October 19th at Drink Me Brewery, we had 15 participants. They chose a book, which they had 3 books to choose from, and came for a fun discussion. So we had about 20 or 25 that participated in that. Coming soon will be our winter book club, January 17th at the Lantern. Once again, there will be 3 different books that they can choose from, read it, and then come for a fun discussion. In the meantime, also, we have little bins that are filled with maybe 20 books for all ages, and it says #Sibley Reads on the side. We have them all over downtown, everywhere where we can think of, hospital, and then people that can just sit and read, like if they're waiting, and then put their picture on #Sibley Reads. So it's kind of been a collaboration with the school, hospital, community, and it's been a really fun way to promote reading within the community of Sibley. So that's our latest big thing. We're really excited about it. It will continue. We're going to have lots of fun events coming over the winter, specifically the January 17th event.
So any questions about my annual report that you have copies of, or our hashtag Sibley Reads promotion that we've been doing? Other than that, all of our same programs continue. Splash, Toddle On Over, Summer Reading. We had great participation again, as usual. Questions or comments? Anybody?
Looks like my family made the revenue with the fines and fees.
I'm sure not,
Did that get
Jason.
returned?
I'm sure not, Jason. But you would be surprised. I don't really remember any bandit of. But you never know. So we've had a really great year at the Sibley Public Library. This will be my final time to come into you. I turned in my resignation. I'll be taking full retirement. Work through February and I'm done. So I've thoroughly enjoyed my years at the Sibley Public Library after all the years at Sibley Ocheyedan School District. And I want to thank you personally for your support of our library and all the libraries throughout the county. It's much appreciated, more than you can know. Any other comments or questions? All right, who wants to go next? Okay, so Diane from Melbourne.
I'm Diane Ellens from the Melbourne Public Library, and I really want to start by thanking you for your consideration of and funds you presented to Melbourne, because they have helped us with programs and materials. And one of the programs that we did this past October was with the younger kids, because I'm trying to bring them in a little bit more. And a whole month of October, we had a pumpkin, and they would draw out a mystery book. It's called the Mystery Book Challenge. And they would choose a book, and they'd need to read it with their parent or someone who came with, or I would read it to them. And then they would get a prize. And it was interesting because I had some of them go through all the books that I had. Although we had to be careful, they just would pick a different one if they picked the same. And then they brought a friend. A couple of them brought a friend the next day. And for us, that is great because it's bringing people in and it's bringing parents in. I had a grandma who came in every Monday and read a book. And some of them got through it all. So that program, I felt, for our smaller library was a great success and a lot of fun. And we've also used funds and things that you've graciously given to us for our summer reading program, which went really well. And we did a couple adult programs. One was an indoor plant program that went really well. And so I thank you very much for what you've done for our library and helped us with. If you have anything you'd like to add or ask, I'd be happy to try to answer that.
I'd like to add, I gotta give you a pat on the back. The Melbourne Library has really improved hundreds of %. My grandkids love to go there.
Oh, that was maybe your wife that
Yeah, that was
yes. Now I recognize you.
And and I never liked going to the library, but my grandkids love it. So you've done a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate what you've helped us with. Thanks.
I'm Tammy Hoekstra. I'm co-director at the Ocheyedan Library, and I co-direct with Laura Berry, which we work out really well together. We complement each other. We do things great together. Thank you for the money that you have given us. The things that we have done is our summer program. It has been very good this summer. We had have more kids than we have had. And tonight we are doing a regional author that is coming in, and will be speaking about her book, Better Not Bitter. And we're going to have a little open house with that also. Another thing we did this summer was we did a Build-A-Bear group with the kids. We had them sign up because we didn't know how many we needed, and we had 20 sign up, and we probably could have had another 20 more. So that's another thing that we will hopefully do again. It brought in a lot of people that don't normally use the library, and afterwards there were several that stayed and played with the games and that kind of stuff, checked out books, and so that is helping with getting more people in for us. And one of the other things we did just to spruce up our drop box, we got a vinyl wrap for that, and so it's quite vibrant And people notice it as they go by and have commented on it. So we're trying to do a little more with the building, update it, and doing things with the kids to come in too. So thank you very much for your money and that you have given for us.
Hi, I'm Sue Christensen of the Ashton Library. We're just kind of winging it, going through, and the few things that we have done, I'm new to this, very new, but the few things that we've done was to try to get the kids to come in. The younger ones are not so active readers, and so we did a Lego contest, which was kind of fun for them. We had 18 of them sign up for that, which was good. And we ran it 2 months. The first month we did an animal, and the second month they had to build a building, I guess it was. And it was very creative, some of those kids, what they came up with. And it got them kind of stimulated in the library, but then we tried to get them to do more reading. So we had a treasure box by the desk, and they could read a book and report whatever they read in the book and whether they liked it or not. And then they could go to the treasure chest and pick up a toy that they wanted. And that worked out pretty good. And for the adults, we keep them active. We've got a couple book clubs that we make sure that they get their books that they want. And we had a few things in classes, a succulent class we did. And then we also had an author come in, and that was the same one that they
she's
had
coming
today.
to our library too.
Yes, yeah, it was very interesting, and that brought in quite a few people. So that's about what we've done. So anyway, and I do thank you for all your support. We wouldn't be doing this without you.
Any questions or comments for any of us, from any of you?
Mayor, could I ask in future reports, probably not yours, but the other ones all identified city or town residents and rural residents.
Oh, okay.
You've got a number of breakdowns under your patrons, but that's of interest too, how many from outside the communities are coming and using the
Yeah, well, we do
facility.
have a few from the outside. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Any other questions or comments?
It appears though Cheaton's really good about turning in their books. You guys only had $1.27.
We're not real sticklers for the fines, paying the fines. Yeah, we would just assume they read the book, and if they need to, yeah, so.
Well, that's very impressive.
Maybe it'd be worth my drive to go over there.
A lot of public libraries in the state don't have fines at all for, if they ruin a book, they have to pay for it, but they don't
Right,
fines at all.
yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We're not real sticklers for that. We do have several patrons right now that we're having a hard time just to get them to return books,
Yeah.
and videos. I need to find out what we need to do with that, but.
Go to their house and knock on the door.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah, well, I'm to that point. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, we're glad they come in. We're glad that they take out books, and we're not real sticklers for the fines.
Yeah. Very good. Anything else?
Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks again for changing the time.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Oh, you guys are gonna shoot me. You guys are gonna shoot me.
There's a long gap.
I know, but we couldn't pass 10:30 until, that's what we had in the last, we can't wait till 10:30 to the next agenda item, so that's what we had in the minutes. Oh, well, John said it'll take about an hour. That's what he is anticipating. That's what he's anticipating. As I asked. Yeah, I know.
So 12:30?
11:30. John's on at 10:30. John is on the back of the agenda. We have John.
11:30.
The drain.
But we have John coming in at 10:30 for the jail.
Oh. He thought that would take an hour?
That's what he told me.
Holy buckets, so it's gonna be an hour of how he didn't give us any savings?
Well, he's supposed to be coming, he told me, so.
I thought you put the drain in, it was gonna take an hour.
Oh, no, that shouldn't. Jared is
Who
calling.
likes to stay for drainage?
Jared is calling in. The contractor is calling in for this drainage, so
Oh, joy.
just an FYI. I apologize, I screw up. I just think we would take all this one, took longer than, I can't win.
Time to go to the bathroom.
You have plenty of time. Yeah, John said he's coming, so.
Because he called last time.
John was here. So I don't know if we have to defer that resolution or not. Again, I don't know.
And he said we had to pass it.
Well, the resolution said we could pass or defer it again. He's working with the contractors, he told me. So.
Plans for Christmas?
Trevor's coming after, so we're gonna have ours with my kids on the 27th, and then my family will be the 28th. Brittany works Christmas, so, you know, I'll never have Christmas or Thanksgiving with everybody there, just with 3 nurses. They never work the same holiday, never have the same weekend, you know, it is what it is, so it's okay. As long as we get together, so. And we're gonna go away again, so I'm not buying a lot.
Where we going this time?
I don't know yet. Black Hills or Duluth. I would like to go to Duluth, but we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. I know the first year we did, you know, we had a snowstorm. The second year was a flood, so hopefully this summer is better. We're failing.
Maybe everybody else will get together and pay for them to stay home.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. So I'm trying to buy a little something, but that's even hard to buy just a little something because you can't really find that my price range. And Mr. Scrooge would be okay if I didn't buy anything at all for anybody. So Mr. Scrooge would be okay if I didn't buy anything for anybody, but
See, I'm just the opposite. I can't.
see,
I have kids, I go nuts.
I just say, you know what, I got it. You just let me do my thing. When does Margaret have her more testing then?
I'm not sure. Should they go tomorrow again, I think, for a treatment.
Chemo again.
Yeah, I think Megan said that was the last one, and then she'll have a CT scan to see what it says.
Stinks.
It could turn out that night.
Good. Yeah.
21,000.
Awesome. Awesome. My daughter Allie goes to Embrace Church and Tea, and every year they give all their people offerings to do a reverse offering, to give it to people in need.
Oh.
I thought that was kind of cool. This year was $30, so just trying to figure out. That's pretty cool, I thought.
You need another one, huh?
I might need, I grabbed 2.
Want one of these?
No,
Put them so you can reach them.
no, I don't need them. I am very fussy,
Really?
yes.
Huh.
And I don't like those donuts, so. So, whatever. I don't know what that is. If I don't know what it is, I ain't gonna eat it, so.
Well, their cinnamon rolls are pretty good. A lot of frosting though, way too much
Yeah.
frosting for me, but.
That's why I took another napkin.
Are you fussy, like your food can't touch either, or are you okay with hot dishes,
I
or
like hot dishes. and
Okay.
all that, but I know what I like and.
know what you don't like? Yeah.
I was raised in a family, so I've always gotten what I wanted, so.
Kurt was too. 4 older sisters and Kurt. He can't even boil water, but he can do chores. He has learned to make eggs. He can do that and toast. He's just never home to do any of that, so.
Is he still getting all those hours in?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, last week was horrible. They had talked to him about strictly just doing jet fuel, and he is more than okay with that,
Yeah.
so.
And where would they go and where would?
We had to go from Sioux City to Sioux Falls,
Oh.
to the airport in Sioux Falls. So jets you can only get from Sioux City, Omaha, or Minneapolis. So as long as they can get from Sioux City, then he would be hauling, so.
That would kind of be a nice run,
Yes,
wouldn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that's what we're hoping for. So
Where'd you keep the truck at?
here, in co-op, behind the liquor store, he stores his truck there. So we're lucky there.
Don't have to go too far to take off.
So they talked to him about it, but nothing's happened yet, but he's gonna do it, so. Might be a little less pay, but we don't really care. It's better than working all these hours. Last week he had 68 hours in 5 days, He's gonna be 60 in 6 months. It's too much, and I want him home more. We're to a point in our lives where,
Yeah.
last night we had our kids' music contest, so it was stressful for him to get home in time, little things like that. And he can't, next week we got McKinley's, so he has to get home early for that, and that stresses him out, and then it never happens on time.
Gotta enjoy it a little more.
You do. And your grandkids want you there, they're excited to see you. We stopped there and dropped some stuff off, and next thing you knew, they're all in our vehicle. We had to take them all to school. I was like, okay, Grandpa and Grandma can do that. So at least they love us. That's a good thing.
Nothing better than grandkids.
I know, right? I know. Trevor they FaceTime last week with Charlie. She was the only one home, and they were talking. All of a sudden, she says, "Where's Grandma?" Grandma's right here, Charlie.
And I hear grandkids are the reward for letting your children make it through their teenage years or something like that.
I could have skipped some of the mothering part, went right to the grandma part. So yeah, they're fun. I heard Allie's little girl loves spending time with Grandma. I saw her at the benefit, and she said, "What do you get to do on Mondays?" I get to spend it with Grandma.
Yeah. She gets both the little girls.
Oh, that's fun.
She feels kind of bad because Lainey takes away a little bit of the time she could spend with Isla.
Sure. Yeah. I know. They like one-on-one time. But that's okay.
I was talking about they're gonna have the daycare in the Prairie View.
That would be good.
And you got the memory care is open. They haven't had anybody, so.
That's
I
awesome.
would think that would be a good interaction. There's only one or two in the state of Iowa like that. To me, it looks like it.
Those residents would love to see those kids. I mean, they just thrive for that. That would be awesome. We'd get therapy for everybody.
I'm probably not retired than I did when I worked. So I've heard that before. You know, the space is there and you don't have to build anything.
Right. And the meals, there's all, that's like awesome. Is that where Allie takes her kids?
Yep. Yeah, if you have a CDL, you're never gonna lie. They went to Hartley at first and then there was a little issue. Whatever you wanna do. You start doing, it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt to drive to Sanborn, but they really do.
Friday,
Awesome.
16 days in a row.
That daycare, that's a big concern. I mean, be able to afford it and then was there one in Sioux Falls or one in Rapid City? They closed on a Friday and they were done. They didn't give them notice. It's like, what do parents do? Man.
Keyword here somewhere over there had that years ago too, where they had to shut down for a while. And what
do you do?
So bad.
I'm so glad I
And
passed that
it's
seat.
expensive, it's
Oh,
a kid, but.
right, it
You
is
know, Kendall last
expensive.
year, when he had 3 of them, it was over 30,000.
I believe that. Trevor's lucky they have an in-home daycare, so it's, and she's very flexible. And then, you know, Brittany's mom don't work, so then they have a backup plan if they need one, but, yeah.
The hospital's gonna take over Fairview.
I heard that.
She was wanting money from parents.
So it'd be more like a rehab place too then?
I guess I'm not sure. You know, different county.
Yeah, I heard that.
I think the hospital should take over the daycare again.
Isn't that working out?
Well, it was in the red all the time,
Part of it's school, part of it's
but,
public.
you know, the daycare is getting to be pretty expensive.
Yeah, young families, I don't know how they, daycare and, I mean, I told Kurt if we had to pay for cell phone bills or a cable bill and daycare, I said we would have to give up something because we couldn't afford all of that.
It just keeps on going.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, Caitlin and Kelly's kids are going to a private school, so that's a little bit more cost to them. Not much, but a little bit more.
Vouchers for that?
Yeah, and, yeah, they're, I mean, it's not much. I think, I don't know, $300 or $400, I think, all they have to pay, so that's not bad.
She got 3 books she's
But-
reading.
I know, we'll see. Noxie likes it, I don't know if Noxie likes it as well as McKinley, but he's more of a social butterfly than. He got grounded though, or not grounded, but they had wrestling the first time and he did good. He just got 4th and he didn't like that. And William got better than he did. William got 3rd, so. He was a little upset about that. I'm surprised William even went out to wrestle because he wouldn't do soccer. All he would do would be
Nolan was on basketball and he wanted to take up wrestling too, but.
I know nothing about wrestling.
Quite a commitment for the little ones.
And some of those kids, you could tell they're way advanced than what my grandkids are.
Well, I'm afraid Nolan would have my attitude, he'd get up and punch somebody.
Nephew's wrestling this year. Thanksgiving, he asked if I'd ever wrestled. I said, I think I spent more time looking at the lights of the gym than actually wrestling the one tournament I was at, so it was pretty short-lived.
Yeah, William was just like looking at them all the time. I'm surprised he even went out there, but he did actually pretty good. So he'll be the scrapper. Noxie's just, everything comes natural to him, so it was a little hard for him that he got 4th, but that's okay. Makes him work a little harder. He wouldn't stretch or do anything. He was drinking milk. He said, that's making my bones stronger, Grandma. Okay. Whatever, Knox. I know nothing about wrestling, so I'm learning. Keep telling me he needs to do basketball. I know it's basketball.
Dylan's kind of switched back and forth too.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Because he was good at pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Knox, he kind of has that. Knox he loves soccer. He loves it. We'll see. Both of them are so petite, and McKinley's not so much. So.
I worry a little bit, my 3 grandsons have ag in their brain. They don't want to do nothing but feed cattle and
Yeah.
ride the tractor. And
Yep. Well, they can do something in agriculture when they get older.
I don't know, it's kind of nice if they get involved in something.
Yeah.
Kendall never did any of it. And he was a big kid, they wanted him to be up for football.
Oh yeah, he's been good.
He never would do it.
Yeah, Trevor's already preparing John. John's a solid built kid. You can't pick that kid up.
How old is he?
He'll be 5 in February. William will be 5 in January 2nd, but John's probably 2 inches taller than. Mm-hmm. John's a big, tall kid. Big feet, big hands, big everything.
I'm going this way. Follow the name of this building.
Just some big kids. But, you know, Brittany's tall and Trevor's tall and Chubb's a big kid, so.
It's 10:30. Resolution 16/24/25, making award of construction contracts for the Oakland County Public Safety Center remodel.
Good morning.
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 I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, but since the meeting and we discussed it, I've been looking over the plans and trying to get some of the money back out of the project for you. And I called on, I have not gotten the general contractor's pricing back yet, but I do have it out to them at this point in time. During the course of this project, we added something to it. So what I've done is I've split it out and getting you cost estimates on the different phases of work. Originally, we were phasing some of the admin in, and in the original estimates, as you can see, if you look at them, there was zero in there for administration. This was supposed to be a standalone facility, and we had a minimum amount of $80,000 in there when we passed the referendum and put it on the north side of the building. So when we moved it over to this side of the building, it added a couple of complications, but we did add some stuff to it. And some of the stuff you may still want to do. So what I'm doing is getting the pricing so that we can look at it. So I'm breaking it into the existing jail demolition costs, the existing sheriff's office renovations that are included in the plans at this time, the walkway connection which was added, and we had some, I reviewed the bids with contractors. The plumbing bid, the bond indicated was wrong. They had $31,140. The actual cost for the payment and performance bond was $6,200. So that contract that reduced the bid by $24,940. Electricians, the one had their bond wrong, they reduced theirs, but the electrical with Winger, they had thermostat wiring as that's to be completed on HVAC contract, which reduced their bid by $3,125. And then I got the new jail value engineering items. So I was trying to get called the general contractor all last week, but I couldn't get a hold of him, and he had pneumonia and was out of commission last week. So I did get a hold of him yesterday, and he told me he'd have the pricing back for me this week. I did get some pricing back on the plumbing on the existing jail, just in simple VE items using ProPress fittings, and they had ductile iron and vent piping instead of PVC, and I deleted the lint separator, which was added to the project, which is not required. So we had about $23,000 worth of deducts there. On the expansion areas, they had doors and windows and security hardware and cameras in there. They're not required at this time, and so that was a $25,000 deduct. So I am working on the deducts for that and breaking it into those sections. I worked with the architect and engineers, and they're able to reduce the jail finished floor to 1533, which deleted the ramp and stairs on the west side of the jail. Deleted the removal of the sidewalk around the monument indicated on plans, and tree removal, as that's being taken care of outside the project. Deleted the demo of the concrete and curb on the southwest corner of the sheriff's building, and the new paving. So where the exercise yard is, that paving got added in for additional parking over there. Delete the storm sewer on the west side of the building. That can just be run through to the curb. Deleted I took the walkway out of there just so we could look at it. That way we have pricing on each section that we look at. And working with architect and engineers, we're able to reduce the height of all the exterior and interior precast by 3 foot, and change the dye color from black to light tan, which they told me would reduce the cost. And for some reason, added the concrete slabs in the future cell blocks, and I didn't want that in there, because what if we decide to put individual cells in there? We're not going to tear up concrete, so I took that out, or getting a price. And then any other VE items which Steph's company is working on. So, as far, we're not going to be able to award bids today or be able to even discuss it till I get the rest of this pricing back. So I would suggest that, we take it. They're supposed to have me all the figures by the end of this week. So I guess I'm here to answer any questions. I know you had some last week. And
So are we taking out the remodel of the old?
the remodel was added to the existing facility. The remodel was added, and the plans were originally phased on the remodel to be phase 1, 2, and 3, along with demolition. It's been in the project, out of the project, in the project. In fact, the demolition was out of the project, and then I was told to put it back in, and then I had to write an addenda to put it back into the project, the demolition of the existing jail. So, we're going into 2 budget years, for one thing. We had the budget year for 25-26, and starting in March, you won't be finished with the jail to be able to occupy the facility till probably April of 26, or April or May of 26. So we're going into the 26-27 budget year.
Budget year is July 1.
Right.
If it finishes in April, we can
move
it closed up in that fiscal year?
In 26, yes. We can move them, but I'm just saying that we could budget for the demo. You're not going to be able to demo that building until after you move the inmates over.
I don't remember ever putting the demo back in there. We took it out, but I don't remember putting it back in there.
They had meetings back and forth, and there's some stuff that, even if, that was in, out, and that got put back in, so.
What do you think, a guesstimate on what we can save by not doing the remodel and the demolition?
Well, right now in the remodel and office renovations there's some stuff that they ran into electrically. And remember, we originally in phase 1, we're just gonna put an evidence in the storage area for the voting machines. Well, it turned out then that they put in, there was 27,286 of security electronics and detention doors and such, 7,400 in plumbing, and there's a gas refeed because the gas, when we move the building, runs under the building, but there's a new gas main coming in, I understand, for your furnaces here for the jail, but for the courthouse, I'm sorry. And Sibley Sheet Metal didn't have any plans on it, so I'm not sure if we can delete that gas refeed. That gas refeed in the existing building was $4,630. The HVAC ad in there was $26,400, and the electrical work was $35,875. So we're up around $100,000 without any of the general construction in there. When they showed tearing the building down, they were re-bricking that whole side of the building, and I assume there's some questions on that. Originally, we hoped to repair some of the roof. We still need to do some of that at a minimum, but we're also re-bricking the front of the building because of closing in those overhead doors. So there's probably $90,000 of brickwork there anyways, at a minimum. So I think it's gonna be quite substantial. But again, we need that information to make some decisions as board and the group here.
That isn't separated out in.
I'm gonna separate it out for costing for us.
But it's not separated out in the bid, it's just all one lump sum.
It's one lump sum, yep. And there's a bunch of work that, there's concrete roof under part of that roofing system and then wood on part of it. And there's still questions on how, when they take the jail down, on how much work's gonna have to be done on that wall there. So there's a bid in for what they're to assume, but re-bricking that whole side is quite extensive. I'm just saying that we could phase this out too, possibly, to look at some of the work that we want done. But you need to know what those costs are for those sections.
I'd say we're gonna have to phase it out.
Mm-hmm. That's what we originally were planning on doing as a group. And then some of it we may have to consider as far as the electrical work. There's two different power sources coming in, and the new generator was to get everything tied in. The new emergency generator, that existing generator was going to go, so that the emergency generator could run the power for the whole facility. So some of that electrical work may have to happen based on meeting with engineers and Alliant on their meeting. And if that gas main's coming up here, we wouldn't have to refeed through the basement if we could refeed, the meter that's there, but I'm not sure what's happening, and we'd have to get together with Alliant, see what's going on.
So we really don't know any more today than we did the other day.
I really don't. I did find out some of the stuff, some of the concrete prices have gone up substantially, and given our location, we had 11 general contractors interested in the project, and we got 3 bids back. And we had a lot of HVAC, and we only got 1 bid from them and 2 electrical. So I don't know what happened there as far as that goes, but I think emergency generator went from a $90,000 package to $188, over the course of this year. And I think they're hedging their bets on the cost of steel and everything else. I mean, right now we're at if we figure the cost, we're at 522 a square foot, which isn't totally out of line, but typically we're getting them done for $420 or something a square foot, which should have kept us in line. But it's the things we tried to incorporate into the project, and we've gotten bids on it, but now we gotta see what we need to take out to get it back in line, and then determine how we can incorporate this stuff into it. The good thing is that you haven't been charged anymore, but the engineering's already done on the existing facility. So, I mean, Rick had to pay him more, but he's not coming back to try to charge you, of course. But I mean, the engineering's done on that end of it, to where if we wanted to do it as we move down the road, then we could. We'd hope bids would come in a little bit less expensive, but the increases in concrete and everything else have driven this project up substantially, way above what I even anticipated. I anticipated it coming in over, but not that far. So I need to get you the information, then we need to determine how we're gonna move forward on it, or, what we wanna do on it, this board.
We gotta cut $1 million for sure, don't we?
Yes.
Why do we get so few bids?
Pardon?
Why did we get so few bids?
I don't know why they didn't bid the project. I don't know if it was location or if they had other things that came about. My understanding is months before that everybody was desperately looking for work for the spring. And I was really shocked that we only got 3 of the bids back, because I've been talking to all the companies and answering questions and everything else. And we had several more at the pre-construction meeting, that were there on site that looked at it, that didn't bid also. There's a lot of work in the renovation that, that was complicated in my opinion, but.
So if you take out that renovation, would you have gotten more bids?
I can't answer that question. I'd be guessing it, to tell you the truth. So, I mean.
Well, we had to reduce it more than $1 million because we already paid.
Oh, I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get to $1 million first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to get it down as much as possible, that's for sure.
So we do nothing today?
Well, I think that you probably need to defer judgment for a week on that resolution is what we need to do. We deferred it last, the 19th, and I really hope to have, I've been trying to call them all week, or last week, and trying to get them to respond to me, and couldn't get a hold of anybody. I finally got a hold of somebody last Thursday, and they told me he had been down with pneumonia, and he's the only one that had the information for me. And it was this Derek Altina. So I talked to him yesterday morning, finally got a hold of him, and he told me he's jumping on it. He'd been out all last week, and he'd have figures for me by the end of the week. So our recommendation as far as the resolution for judgment till the 17th, are you having a meeting on the 17th?
Unless we need to. The next meeting is not till the 23rd unless the board wants to meet again.
If you want a meeting on the 17th, as we.
I think we probably should. I mean, I don't wanna let this progress too long. We got 60 days. The bids are locked in for 60 days on contractors, so I would like to keep this moving ahead for you so that we make some decisions on where we wanna go with it. I mean, we did have it as a standalone building originally out here. You know, it didn't have that walkway connection, but I'd like to see what that cost is anyways. I mean, if it's not that substantial, we may want to consider leaving it in.
I know we talked about changes and back and forth, but I'm just flabbergasted at the overall estimate you've consistently provided us on project cost recaps and pay apps is $7,018,000. And we got a construction only bid of $7,444,000. I don't see how working with the bidder is gonna get us down anywhere near what was estimated. How do we continue to move forward on a project that was given an estimate of, I know it's not exactly the construction, the demo and stuff was in there, but 4.8 million to 7.44 million. I've been moving forward on this all along thinking that's a nice structure and a process that we can work with.
We did the estimate and redid it in 6 of 23. And I looked at the estimate and I can send you a copy of the estimate, but that was a standalone building at that point in time on the south side of the building, or north side of the building, which is what we passed in the referendum, and with no demo in it, no roof or anything. Then we put a little bit of demo in it for the connection to the existing building. And at that time we were down around that. Now you're looking at that, which is not the estimate. I can send you the estimate, but
well, why wouldn't it reflect that in here? Right here it says the estimated value for each portion of it.
That's just the original value we assigned to the project at that point. That's not the estimate of probable cost. The estimate of probable cost was supplied to you with, prior to the project.
I know you've been hesitant to reject bids, but at this point, spending a month or more to try to haggle over maybe $1 million when we're $3 million off what we were thinking.
Or $2
million. We're halfway there. I understand the hesitancy and the impact it would have on future bidding if we reject, but taking small steps and having a budget we can't or aren't willing to work on, how does that put us in a better place?
I think that if you rebid it, that you're gonna see your price is just gonna be as high, even if you delete all the stuff that you have. To be honest with you, we only got 3 bidders because of the location we're in. And if we rebid it, it's very possible we could end up just as high.
But they knew where the location was when they asked for the bid packets.
I understand that, Ed. I understand that. I'm just saying that now that the numbers are out there, they may not rebid it. I thought if you had the numbers, then you could decide what you want to do at that point in time, but are you gonna get $2 million out? I don't think so. Not without reducing the building size, but we're gonna get less building for more money, in my opinion. contractors may be hedging their bets based on this election and tariffs coming up too. Panels are still 245 days out on electrical panels and such. So, I mean, there's been substantial increases even over the past 4 months in construction costs, and we can't control the market conditions. And they could possibly go up after the change in government this coming January too. But I can do whatever you want to do.
Well, you'll know by next week.
What those costs are, yes. I mean, that gives you the information to make a decision on what you want to do.
I guess we table this for now, wait till we get the numbers, meet on the 17th.
I think we have to pass that resolution to defer it, because there's an option there again to defer.
Yeah.
What's the harm in waiting until the 23rd? I'm not opposed to a special meeting, but we waited a week for someone with pneumonia because someone else in the office couldn't answer the questions. We wait another week and.
You said we have 60 days.
60 days, yeah.
Where are we at with the 60 days?
We bid, what was the bid date on that?
Wasn't it, it was November 12th, is that, I mean, that's when we accepted it, is it that date, or is it the 19th when we had?
It's when we had the bid letting, so that would have been the 12th.
12th.
Yeah. So.
I'm not opposed to, I just am not real confident that we're gonna be somewhere in one more week, so.
Well, we should have figures. And that gives you a week to decide how you want to proceed also.
So you'll have the information to us then by Friday?
I was hoping to have it by Friday. They told me they'd have it no later than the end of the week, so. I mean, I wanted to evaluate and be able to discuss with them to confirm what they're providing, you know, that they picked up everything. I mean, if we wanted to defer judgment until the 23rd, that would give us an opportunity to look over the data and then determine how we want to proceed. Because I'm sure we're going to have, once we get the information, we're going to want a chance to review it or look at possible funding solutions or whatever we want to do at that point in time, and then make a final decision on the 23rd.
I don't like the idea of removing demolition, but the remodel, Kevin has said, could wait. I can see where that would drive up cost because of the unknown. I can see that being a more fruitful area to remove than.
I think we're gonna have to do both.
I'm just thinking in the future, we're gonna want that demolition done for parking. My idea on how parking might work, so people, I mean, so that we have reasonably close to handicap parking. I think
it's probably too
is
late
wise.
for this, but would it be been better off to go to a completely new location?
We discussed that at the beginning of the project, and it was decided that we wanted to keep it here by the courthouse. And if we, let's say we, just throwing it out, if we had to build the sheriff's administrative and the jail, it probably would have thrown it up some too.
No, just ask.
Yeah.
Land acquisition would be considerable.
No, I understand.
We're trying to keep it as low as possible, and that's why we had it as a separate, you know, originally I had it as a separate building even, but, you know, one thing led into other things, which led into more cost. And then price increase and market conditions established it also. This was the original one too, where it was separated.
So we want to do it on December 23rd then?
Your thoughts, Kevin?
Like I said before, we can live without the remodel to the current office. But, we absolutely need that jail. You know, if we don't get the jail, we're gonna be shut down. Right, the week before Thanksgiving, we were running with 11, 12 inmates in there. And that's quite significant, so, and now we got 3. So it fluctuates all the time, so the extra room, we absolutely need.
Are you looking into, we added that space on the back end, just in case, are you looking at taking that off?
No, I just took the concrete out of the inside of it, and they had the doors and security electronics and all that in there, which can just be blocked off for this time, because that was future expansion. And like Kevin said, and the thing that I was concerned about personally, I mean, that added about 150,000 just to add those 2 sections on, I think we discussed. But if we didn't have them, we get up to 14, we don't want to build a jail that's going to be overpopulated that we're going to have to expand on right away. So I didn't have taking those sections off. I just had them built and then.
Can you do that? I mean, can you ask them what that would save us?
I can take that off if we want to.
I mean, I'm trying to get to that number.
So if we get to your example there, if we have 14 inmates, we can't open those doors and use that space
Anyway.
day one anyway. There's gonna be a project that finalizes that.
I mean,
It's gonna reduce cost, I get that, but.
It's not ideal, but.
Are we built to standards to house federal inmates?
Yes.
And are there ways we can reduce that to not have that be the standard?
You have to meet the current jail standards. So the square footage in the facility is minimized, because you have to have so much day room for so many inmates. So you have to meet the current jail standards, which meet the federal guidelines. But federal standards typically include individual cells, which we have individual and double bunk cells. So it's maximum security and medium security cells. So we do meet federal standards on some of those cells to house federal inmates. But it's not built any differently than any other county jail would be. So we have to meet those current jail standards, which have been reviewed by the state jail inspector prior to bidding. And the thing that I want to be careful on is on that renovation, we're getting into quite a bit of renovation at one time. And I think that the architect informed you and I've informed you that if we go over 20% of the renovation, it could be where we'd have to bring that whole building up to current codes, which would then cost us a lot. By phasing it, we wouldn't have that problem.
Here's what I think we're gonna have to do. This is just my opinion. Take out the demolition, which I don't want to. Take out the renovation, which I don't want to. And take out the extra space on the south end.
Okay.
To get to where we want. That's my opinion.
I mean, it can be added on in the future. I mean, it was set up to add on in the future. Or at least get that number so we know what that number is.
That's what I mean.
I can do that, get that number for us too. That way, I want to get as many numbers as you can so you make some decisions on which way to go. I mean, if it's 150,000, that's one thing. If it's 250,000, do we have to look at it? The demolition, I mean, we're 2 years down the road, could be budgeted for at that point in time, but I'd like to know what that cost is, for future, because there's been discussions that it'd be up 220,000. I mean, we only had 80 for the minimal demolition when we were on the south side to get into the existing building. But you know, I'd like to know what that demolition cost is. And, you know, cause re-bricking that side of the building is a substantial cost in itself. And I know that we wanted to put parking there so we could get through. And if the overall's looking, if we were to move even further to the north and leave that drive open, that would solve some problems too. Now you'd have to walk out.
That's actually what I was thinking.
I mean, that's this drawing here that we were originally looking at, where we left the drive open, but you'd have to walk outside to get to the jail, which, you know, may not be the end of the world either, so.
Just, FYI, we have the ARP money allocated to the jail, and that has to be allocated by December 31st of '24. So if we scratch the jail, then we need to come up with a plan B or lose the money. I'm just saying,
I know
we're running
that
out of time.
several put it towards capital improvement projects, and which can go towards the jail or.
Yeah, the board made a motion to use it for the jail, so
Mhm.
I just, our time, 31st is coming by quickly.
Well, I
It's
imagine
not
that,
proceeding, but
No, I don't.
would it be worth reassigning that as lost income, lost revenue?
We did allocate it as lost revenue, because we're under $10 million.
Right.
We did allocate it as lost revenue, but I still have to do a project. I still have to allocate it to a project. I got notification from them that I didn't allocate a project, so I was panicking, but they said when I do my reporting in April, then I have to allocate it to a project, that money, when I do my annual report. I mean, it's lost revenue, yes, but I still have to have it dedicated to a project. I have a webinar at 1 o'clock on this today, but.
it's my understanding that we're still anticipating doing the jail at minimum, is that correct?
That's my thoughts.
I'm just saying that once it's lost revenue, it can go to any expense that the county can pay. So
It
why
can,
can't
but
it be insurance or wages?
I don't know about that. When I report it annually, I have to have a project.
I understand. Then we just designate something that we've already spent money on that we say it's ARPA dollars.
I don't know
It
if
becomes
it can
more
go
of an
to
issue of
wages.
expending it by the end of the following year versus.
We have until December 26th to
26th.
spend it, so we're good there. I just have to have it allocated. This has been stressful.
Well, I think by the 23rd, we'll know for sure what the hell we're gonna do. That's my opinion.
It's got to be identified by the end of '24, then let's just change that identification and spend it on something that we know is going to get used. And remove that portion from these concerns.
I get what you're saying, Jason.
We spent some of it. I mean, we spent some of the money, but
So we just identify that in the allocation thing.
yeah, when I set up the project for the jail.
If you were to say that you've used that money to pay engineering or architecture fees, does that consider having been obligated in time? If you could say the money's been used to spend on design?
Yeah, because I will have to report that, what we have spent so far, but I have to create a project. So my project would be the jail remodel, and then all the expenses that were paid out to the jail model.
But if you can say that you spent any of the money on design at this time, then you've beaten the December of 2024 time by having funded the design.
Yes, I believe so. Like I said, I have a webinar at 1 o'clock, and I asked all these questions, so hopefully they answer them for me, but we'll see. I got this email that I have to, I get it allocated, so I went to the website, and I watched a video, and there's nothing on the website according to the video, and they said I won't have it because I'm an annual reporter, not a quarterly reporter. So that's why I can't do anything until March 31st when they open it up.
Well, I did talk to Maggie Berger too, and she said that we could issue some of the bonds at a premium and pick up 125 to 175,000. But the ARP funds are part of the overall budget that is included in the recap at this point in time.
We're gonna go to, I mean, if we just do this project and go to bond, we're gonna need to know, so I know what to budget debt service for our payments that we'll have. We'll probably have interest first. But
If bonds are issued in March, you probably wouldn't have them until the following 26.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, but we're doing budgets for 25, 26 coming up, so we probably will have an interest payment.
26, 27 before your first payment would be.
You don't think so? You don't think we'll have an interest payment like in December?
Because we're collecting money in arrears for taxes.
Okay. I thought we'd have a payment in December, but okay. We'll see.
Maggie's often done that.
Mm-hmm.
When we worked with.
Typically, since Iowa collects taxes in arrears, it goes to the following year based on Pocahontas.
But then your principals, or your interest is generating interest in the meantime until you make your first payment. So I think their effort is to start that schedule so that you're not paying interest on interest.
Or we'll have to pay out of the general fund and pay back.
Taxes, pay the payment for that year is typically the way it goes. And I mean, if you get the bond money, if we invest it properly, since we're starting in March, we'd hope to get money, November, December, or January, where we'd have a chance to invest it. You'll develop some interest income off of that. But we don't know what the interest rates are gonna do at that point in time. Now, the interest rates on the bonds have come down some to about, I think that Pocahontas died theirs in at 3.7 now instead of 4.5, which took about 3 years off the bond, and the interest generated on that project is close to 196,000 at that time. I mean, there's options that we need to look at, but we need those costs to identify. And the only thing I don't have in here, which I can get in here, is the 2 expansion areas, which I'll get that number too, in a separate number.
So we don't do nothing but just wait till the 23rd?
I need a motion to permit the engineer to review and make recommendations before action on the resolution until December 23rd.
And then what time are we talking? I don't have much on the agenda for the 23rd, so I think 10:30 would be too late. Or, we should do it earlier than 10:30.
I'll make that motion.
To approve resolution 16 and adjourn until December 23rd at 9 o'clock.
And then are we gonna meet on the 17th to go over these figures?
I guess I can meet with you on the 17th to go over the figures and Mike, I don't know what he's got going on.
But it won't be a regular board meeting, just the 2 board members to go over them. That's correct on the 17th? Okay.
Are you gonna announce it in case we have more than, if we have 3, in case we have,
If I have more than 3, they'll have to let me know so I can post an agenda then.
yeah.
Yeah, we can meet on the 17th if you want. I just shared my concerns as to making sure we have the information, but.
We'll meet with them, we don't need to have a meeting, do we? On the 17th?
Unless you want it.
No.
So I got a motion, and I want to make a second.
I've said plenty. Leroy, what do you think about the resolution and meeting on the 23rd?
I've got a doctor's appointment on the 23rd, I just remembered, in Sioux Falls.
Okay, we're meeting that day regardless, so.
So is that, you would rather we meet a different time for this, or?
That's up to, I mean, yeah, that would be good, but it's kind of up to
Well, it doesn't make a
everybody.
difference if Leroy can't be here. And he wants to be here. Meet on the 17th, I don't know.
I could change my appointment, but it's already, I missed one, I gotta go again.
What time is it?
10 in the morning.
So do you wanna meet on the 17th instead?
It's up to you guys. I can go either way. I just gotta post it then.
Yeah, I just need to know to post it. And we have to meet the 23rd regardless, because that's a normal, but
That's good. I could be on the phone, I suppose.
yeah, it's up to you. You guys just have to tell me.
Yeah, I could meet with you beforehand too, before the 23rd, like on that Monday, if you wanted to, and then call in or whatever.
The 23rd is a Monday, but.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot.
Unless, if you want to be a part of the meeting next week with them, I just need to know, because then I have to post an agenda. Maybe it's a work session or something. You guys gotta tell me.
Just have your motion be to be on the 17th instead?
Yeah.
I'll support that.
Mr. Helmers.
Aye.
Mr. Schulte. He's gone. Mr. Vandenhoef.
Aye.
Mr. DeVore.
I,
Motion carries.
So I have it December 17th at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
that's on a Friday?
No, that's on a Tuesday.
It's on a Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Oh, next,
Yep, at 9 o'clock.
If you have any questions, give me a call anytime during the week and stuff, so I can, if you're looking at something else, I can pick it up for you or whatever, so. Thank you.
Thanks.
I lost my phone someplace. It's not here.
Did you call?
I have not,
Jerry, my concern and I don't disagree with your thoughts on what should be deleted, but if we're talking around $800, $900 per square foot, and we're reducing the footprint, I'm not confident that we're just getting the dollar amount down if we're going, but keeping the per square foot amount the same, it's
We're only at
what I'm concerned.
522 a square foot. You gotta take into that consideration the existing facility, not even taking in the demo into consideration, you're at $522 a square foot, which is in what some of these projects are going for these days as far as and typically we've been in $420 square foot, so it's about $100 square foot more than typical. Thank you.
Thanks.
What was that last comment? I didn't quite get that.
He said we're at 522 per square foot.
If you take the entire, we've taken the entire project and divided by the jail square footage to come up with that larger number, but there's other things outside of the new construction.
The remodel within the existing structure changed the square
You
footage.
take those out and just take the cost of the new building and the square foot, and he's saying around 5. If you were to, if you were to move the building just a little bit more to the south so that you can keep that aisle open, is that what there's a possibility of? But then
That's what my thought was.
And then from a security standpoint, would there be like gates or something that we could swing through if you wanted to use it as a sally port to bring people from, is that the concern?
It shows a sally port, the picture here. I don't remember him providing
An
that.
enclosed
but-
sally port?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just next to the driveway is where that was
Okay.
pictured, but. I mean, I should have asked it while he was here, I don't know why, but can't that sally port remain open until it needs to be closed and
That was
secured
my
and just have the driveway that way, or?
Yeah, that was my thought.
I mean, cause now they'll park in the alleyway and use the back door and block it at times, so. I don't know, we better call him this afternoon and see. I'm guessing standards don't look at that positively, but I don't know why it can't be
I'm just
utilized.
worried that if we don't have a drive-through, people are gonna hit the building, because it has happened, or it's come extremely close to the building, and that, have concerns about that.
My thought is just, can't we just leave it open? Have it, continue to be a drive-through or not?
Like we have now, and they just
Yeah.
close the gates when they need to transport or whatever.
Well, we ain't got gates now and they
Yeah, I
unload
know,
people
yep.
back there.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. Is it ideal? No. But
We're to a point where.
I'm not
No,
yelling.
I know, yep, I understand, it's very frustrating.
The gas line that's being brought in to serve the courthouse, Sibley, Cheetah, is that gas line sized enough to also serve the?
That would be a question.
My experience with Lion is, heck, no, it's not. They're gonna do the bare minimum and
Because we had to
not
make
bother
sure
doing
we were having that size for our new building, our new shop, to make sure it could also serve the boiler building that was being converted to the washroom.
And I bet you had to pay for the gas line that they sized up until you started utilizing it as a separate meter or as a building
We
or.
were all one meter.
They're not
but we had to
gonna-
make sure the meter was sized, or that the line to the meter was sized enough. But they were just coming off the alley, right there next to it. It wasn't that big of a deal.
No, with the Grau edition, I remember they would not size the gas to service all of the lots that could potentially have buildings on them. They sized it for the 2 that were committed to building initially. Like, what?
That doesn't make any sense. For a subdivision line, like a new line through that, the Kirk Grau edition, along a street?
They would not invest more to have it upsized for the
That's
future
crazy.
need.
You have platted lots.
We had to pay for the larger size, and then as
Oh, you
each.
had to pay the difference
And
or
then as
something?
each entity came on, there was a rebate or something that the county couldn't keep, but the businesses could. But yeah, I think he needs to make sure that Alliant is bringing what is needed for both facilities, however that might look. But to do it and then redo it would be stupid.
One other thing that he mentioned, he's talking about asking the contractor to reduce scope and things like that, but he also threw out the word, the VE word, value engineering. Typically, when you do value engineering, you split the cost between the contractor and the owner. Like, that's usually asking a contractor, how can we do this cheaper, or how can you build a better mousetrap? The contractor comes up with a better way than what's in the plans. There's usually a 50-50 split of the cost savings of the project, so you don't normally recognize all of those savings. Typically.
Keith, as you listen to all this, got any insight for us or
You're right, Jerry, in that you're not going to save $1 million to $2 million by picking up 25,000 or 20,000 here and there. You're gonna have to make the scope substantially smaller, like getting rid of the demo and the remodel. You gotta take out big items. And I don't understand what the deal is with not pouring the floor or something, or the slab. Is that an outdoor slab that you're not pouring, like an exercise yard or something? Because if you're doing something under roof, then you're not pouring a slab, you're gonna have moisture issues, and you're gonna get ground moisture up through that area. So I don't understand what that is, unless it was some sort of outdoor area that you're not finishing.
The footings, you shouldn't be too, that won't be too problematic, would it?
No, I'm not talking you're gonna have like heat problems. I'm saying if you end up with an enclosed building and you don't pour the interior slab, you're gonna have moisture issues in that room.
But it would have the heating and air, the HVAC to it, to be circulating air, you just
Yeah.
aren't
And
accessing it.
Sucking moisture
Moisture
out
out of the ground.
and radon.
I mean, it'd be similar to a lot of those spec buildings by the lakes. I'm sure most of them are poured with a sandbox in the corner, that if you want to add a bathroom or do something, you do that at a later date at your own expense, but it's enclosed and
Isn't there cells in the basement, if you want to call that the basement, not the basement of the old house, but when I've been in there, it seems to me there was some, I think there's a woman's cell, isn't there? Down there? One or two? I mean, I'm trying to get to that 14 or whatever he was talking about. If you had to utilize. Yeah, I think we gotta do some major cutting. That's just my opinion, but.
pardon me to speak freely, but it pisses me off that we'd have to cut. He designed something that gave us a price that we should get for what he was designing within a budget. Why? I get cost increases, but not to this level.
Concrete not being accessible.
And I'm like, man, there's one right over there, oh geez.
There's one out here.
There's one out here. Maybe they don't do that because they're, I don't know. And I don't understand how everything got in and out. After we already discussed it, it got put back in.
And the estimates were never updated or altered when they were changed.
When you and Mike had that meeting, I'm not pointing the finger, but did you talk about?
No, we can't add things back in there without
Well,
coming back
yeah,
up.
well,
to this and
but I'm just, he keeps saying we pulled this.
Yeah, the last thing I remember was those two corners that
Yeah.
added and kind of squared it off, but.
No, we can't add things in and take them out. It has to be done up here.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that, but I didn't know.
We
I don't know
already
if
had
that's
that
where he's
discussion.
picking that up or what.
Well, we already had that discussion, and then all this stuff got put back in. Like, I don't know what happened, but.
I thought we actually had that argument on demolition.
We did.
And it was like a 3-2 vote or something, wasn't it? Yeah. That we weren't gonna do it for now.
I thought it did pass, that it would be included.
He kept saying, yeah, out and in, out and in. I'm like, it was either in or it was out. We didn't have another discussion after that. Anyhow, we need to adjourn this.
I will make that motion to adjourn this meeting.
I will support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll jump right into District 3. Any additions or subtractions to today's agenda?
I don't have any.
Approve the December 3rd, 2024 minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consider notice to contractor and surety for branch 152
Did I have
and
on to approve the
151, 178
agenda?
construction
Yeah,
project.
we didn't approve it, did
Do we have to approve the agenda?
Oh, we didn't do-
You mentioned it, but I don't know if anybody seconded
To
or
the minutes.
went to the minutes right away, so.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve these minutes.
And I'll support it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now we'll consider the notice.
Yeah, from Colin Spencer.
Was he gonna be on the line too, that?
Contractor and Spencer.
Okay.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center.
Oh, you're gonna have to
Please
turn that
enter
up.
conference ID followed by pound. Sorry, I can't find a meeting with that number. Try entering your conference ID again and then press pound. Sorry, I can't find a meeting with that number.
Okay.
Try entering your conference ID again and then press pound. You're now joining the meeting.
Always is for me. Frustrating.
Just do 1111 pound,
I
1111 pound, and then do.
Spencer, can you hear us?
Yep, good morning. Michelle, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
We've got Jared with Vincent Construction on the line. Jared, can you hear us? I'm not sure if Jared can hear us or not. He's shown us in the meeting here on my end, so we'll give it a second to see. Jared, can you hear us? Well, I'm not sure if Jared can participate or not. Just asked to be able to listen, I guess. So we'll proceed, but we do have Jared on the line here. Hopefully we can hear from him. We need to here moving forward. So is Rochelle, is the board in the meeting? We're ready to get started.
We are.
Okay, great. First thing for the board is just a quick update on construction. We have had continued progress on pipe installation. To date, contractors installed the 42-inch pipe up to roughly station 45. So that's about 4,500 feet of pipe. Approximately it's been installed this fall. So making progress on that. There's about roughly a little over 1,000 feet left of the 42-inch pipe, and then onto some smaller pipe. So making progress there. Additionally, at the last board meeting, in progress on some of the crush and bury items, and a few of the punch list type items as well have been completed. So seeing some progress on that, and that's kind of reflected in the pay app here that we'll review in a little bit.